Okay, in today's video, I am going to give my 12-week post-rotator cuff update. Hey everyone, this is Lisa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Lisa Monique. It is typically a lifestyle and beauty channel for over 50 women, but I have been doing a series on my rotator cuff surgery and my recovery. And I think I did the first 5 days, and then I kind of jumped to a couple of weeks because really it was like Groundhog Day, the same thing day after day, me sitting in a recliner, watching TV, eating terrible snacks for me, and eating bowl food or things like that, and putting on just a couple of pounds. But now I am at the 12-week point. I went to my doctor, and he was super, super pleased with my recovery. Now, I will say, he also said I am ahead of projected schedule with my recovery. So if you are not where I'm at your 12-week point, it does not mean that you're falling behind. My physical therapist put it another way. He said if recovery, range of motion, flexibility is a bell curve, where most people are here at the top of the bell, I am at the far end of the curve, which means I am a lot better. Oh, looking at the monitor, it's probably backwards. So if it was a bell curve this way, I am way ahead. I'm at the bottom of the curve as far as being ahead. So he was like really cautious about me telling people where I was at my 12-week point because it is not the average recovery rate. It is better than average. But let me tell you where I'm at. I can put my hand up here. I can fasten a bra. That was my goal when I started at the 6-week point. I really started working on this flexibility right here. I am pretty much up, out. You know, I'm pretty flexible. He says I have no signs of the frozen shoulder, which I had before, which is another reason why they are really pleased with my recovery, because I had pretty significant frozen shoulder, like right about here, 35 degrees, I think they said, during surgery. They could not lift my arm. And so that was a big concern for them. Now, let me also say before I talk about some of the things that I've done, make sure you talk to your doctor, make sure you talk to your physical therapist, because everything that I've added and done to my stretches, I always clear with my physical therapist before I begin. So you definitely want to make sure that you talk with your doctor, your physical therapist. I had a full tear supraspinatus, I don't know how to say it right, tendon. They moved my bicep. I don't remember if I had something with my labrum. So I don't remember if I had stitches. I know I did for my bicep, and then they did some cleaning up and things like that. So I don't really remember exactly, except for the full tear and the moving of the bicep, and then kind of just cleaning up the little hook, the bone spurs and everything like that, which I'm feeling now on my right shoulder. I don't know if any of you have experienced that too, but because I have been using my right shoulder a lot, I'm starting to feel that same initial ache that I had last November, October, with my left shoulder, my primary shoulder, my dominant shoulder, when I was driving back and forth from Arizona to Florida. Okay, so my doctor also said, I asked about gardening, because it is gardening season. I do have a lot of bulbs that are coming. He said, no to any shoveling. This motion, not good. This works that supraspinatus tendon, muscle, whatever it is, the most. So I cannot shovel. He said, but I can, put a shovel in the ground, step on it, and do some careful moving. And since I am digging up plants, I don't need to be doing this motion anyways. So I have been clearing. We have a new property. It's almost directly across the street. We're doing renovations on it because this is a rental right here. And I am working on some things in the front yard while I'm waiting for the renovations to begin, which hopefully will be next week. And so, yeah, minimal gardening, still need to be really careful. Some of my biceps should be fully healed by now, but it is the rotator cuff that I still need time to fully heal. It does take a little bit longer. This period between that 6-week and the 6-week and the 12-week is actually when most people re-tear the rotator cuff. But the next period where people do the damage, of course, is a 12-week to the 3 or 6 month point, because they feel good. I feel good. I am a little sore after gardening yesterday. So, but before that, for the last month, I mean, I felt really good. I mean, I felt that if I didn't pay attention, that's when I could be doing too much. I was traveling, you know, I had to make sure that I didn't just want to swing my suitcase up into an overhead bin, because I feel like I could, even though, you know, technically I'm just working with 5-pound weights with my physical therapist. I mean, we just started light weight training about 2 weeks ago. So starting with 2 pounds, now I'm up to 5 pounds. So we're definitely taking it super slow. So I need to make sure that I'm not jumping the gun, because I feel so good. But let me tell you the type of things that we're doing, because I know not everybody has insurance or the ability to go to as much physical therapy as I have. I have really good insurance. I have a primary and secondary, and I have been going twice a week since day 2 post-surgery. And so some of the things that I've been doing at this 12-week point that he slowly has introduced, one is doing push-ups on the wall or on the counter. I have moved up to the counter, but I was doing them on the wall first. Still doing a lot of stretches, doorway stretches, like where I put my hand on the doorway and go in. Hold for 10 seconds, do that 10 times. It feels really good. And a lot of what I do now is I'm comparing, you know, what I can do with my non-surgical shoulder versus the one that had the surgery, and kind of seeing how far away I am. But when I do that doorway stretch, I get a nice little stretch on both shoulders. So that feels really good. With the push-ups, I don't notice it on the wall or if I do it on my counter. But when I was doing push-ups in the gym, and there's a big mirror there, I do notice, let's see if you can see this. Oh, that's not going to help. Put it behind. I do notice this shoulder, this is the shoulder, this is my left shoulder I had surgery on, does go higher, you know. So when I'm doing the push-up, I'm trying to concentrate on keeping it low, because it does go a little bit uneven when I'm going down. And so I'm always, when I'm looking in the mirror, when I'm doing anything, I just keep trying to think, push the shoulder down, because I think this muscle right here, you know, is compensating for a lot of movement in that shoulder. As far as my flexibility, my goal was to be able to put on a bra normally, just be able to fasten it in the back. And so at the 6-week point, I could get my hand right about here. Just barely, can you see it? I don't even know, just barely on my bum. I could barely put it behind my back. And so what I had been doing for the last 6 weeks is slowly moving it and counting 20 seconds. So I would do this. And that would be it for day 1 and the next day. And the other thing, yeah, so I would just be moving it maybe a finger width every single day higher, and holding it for 20 to 30 seconds. And I would do that throughout the day. But I could not, on my own, put my hand back there. It was always at the base, and then I would kind of just lift it just till I felt a resistance, but I would not force it, you know, past that resistance. But every day, or maybe I would, you know, again, just a finger length, just to kind of stretch, lightly stretch that resistance. Again, check with your doctor, physical therapist, because I don't know what you've had done with your shoulder. But he said that stretch was fine. And so every day I just was doing a little bit higher, and, you know, now I can pretty much pull it all the way up. In fact, my husband says I can get my hand higher than he can get his reaching across the back. Of course, my other hand can go even higher. You can see I still have pretty much a whole hand width to go if I want to have match back to my old flexibility. The other thing too, same thing, going back here, I, reaching back this way, I kind of do this stretch. Now, both of these stretches, when I would do them, I would be kind of leaning forward. And so I would get it into position, and then I would slowly just straighten up until I felt the resistance. And again, I never really wanted to push through that resistance because I didn't want to tear anything. I just wanted to lengthen the tendons or ligaments or whatever had gotten so stiff. So this is the other one I'd been working on. I'm still working on this one. And I kind of feel like I need to hold it into place for the stretch. The other thing I was doing, I watched a video on Tai Chi. It was like, I don't know, it was an Instagram reel, and he was like, oh, if you want to lose weight, do this 200 times a day, which I'm still not at 200 times a day. But it basically was a move like this, and you're stepping behind. I don't know, see if you can see this, but you would step behind, and then you would swing down, and then you would do it this way, and then you would swing down, and then you would do it this way. Well, and this was probably at my 8-week point that I saw this and started doing it, but I couldn't do this swinging motion on my own. So I had to hold my hand. I had to guide it, and I would go like this, and then I would bring it down. I would go here. I would go here, and I feel like it just kind of loosened up that joint, especially any remaining frozen shoulder little crud. So when I was at my 6-week point, which actually it wasn't 6 weeks because I was out of town, it was 7 weeks. So at my 7-week doctor's appointment, and I kept talking about, if I do something, I'd just feel something right here, and then I would worry that I was tearing my bicep or, something like that. I mean, this is where all my twitching, this is where it's sore. It's a little sore today, right here. And he said, probably not doing any damage. It could be a little bit of the encapsulation still there. Still need to break up some of that encapsulation from my frozen shoulder. Or it could, be, again, you're just stretching. The tendons have gotten really, rebuilt real tight, and, you just need to stretch it a little bit. So I became less afraid. I'm still nervous, but less nervous to keep moving when I felt a little twitch right here. So I didn't move to a point of pain. I didn't, do anything quick or anything that I thought could rip it. But if what I was doing, I was like, okay, I don't really think I would be ripping, anything doing this. Then I kind of worked through that twitch, and it actually, by the 10-week point, a few weeks later, I mean, I didn't feel it at all. So I did work through a little bit of, again, not pain, but twitching. Right now, I have just a little bit of soreness, and I think it's from gardening. I didn't dig up all the bushes. I was going to continue today, but I think I'm going to rest it a day and maybe dig up the rest of them tomorrow to, again, just giving it a chance to rest a little bit. But other than that, I'm feeling really, really good, really optimistic. I'm sleeping normal. I'm starting to drive with my left hand. I'm starting to use my left arm, to push myself up off of things without even thinking about it. So I do feel like I'm getting that whole full range of motion again. Like I said, I'm still going to PT twice a week. We're doing a lot of even this motion without weights, and then he's moved me up to like 2-pound weights. And what my physical therapist said, because I was like, things like this, like I can go real like here, but I have to kind of push it more here. And he told me that my range of motion, I mean, he could pull, the range of motion is there, but the muscles that control this motion, to include the supraspinatus and all these other muscles, they are weaker. So what we are doing is we're building up those muscles again to make this movement as simple as this one, getting it really close to my ear. So I walk around like this a lot. I do a lot of my gentle PT exercises, usually without weights. If I'm just sitting on the couch watching TV, yeah, I tend to do this a lot, and then pulling my shoulders back. But I can actually lay down. I can watch TV like this. I can watch TV on my side. The hardest one, what they call them, the sleeper stretch. I don't know if you had the sleeper stretch, which is where you're on your side, head on a pillow, and your arm is up, and then you kind of just bend it down. Now, even on my other hand, like naturally it doesn't go flat, but it still goes flatter. So I've been working on that, kind of that rotating here, lying on the side. And then doing opposite back to a W, I'm definitely farther with my non-surgical arm than I am. I haven't done the back, the W. He hasn't made me do it in PT, so I've kind of forgot about that. But I do feel like that has not improved any within the last 2 weeks. So I'm just doing a lot of comparisons now, side by side. And I like that whatever I'm doing with my arm that had the surgery, I'm also doing it the other arm to kind of make sure that the muscles are both being worked. And then again, just need to work on keeping that shoulder down. Oh, and I don't want to forget to mention my bursitis. So it's still there a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but it's just, this feels like empty skin. This feels like just a little something, but the big golf ball size bulge is gone, though I feel it now. Like it feels like a swollen joint. And that happened about the 5-week point. Maybe between that 4 and 5 week point, I was like, is it getting a little smaller? It's still there. And then it really did go away. By the 6 week point, it looked like this. I mean, it was definitely, mending. I guess I'm at the 7 week point now. Yeah, not 100%, but a lot better. So overall, I'm really, really happy with my progress at the 12-week point. And even if I wasn't as far along, if I was back where I was at the 8-week point, I still was feeling pretty good. And so if you're just starting this surgical journey and you're really nervous and everything, I mean, that's what I tell people when they comment on my videos. My pain was so much worse pre-surgery. Even my worst pain days post-surgery were not any worse than pre-surgery. And pre-surgery, it was just indefinite. Like, oh, I need to try and manage this pain indefinitely. Post-surgery, I kept saying, maybe it'll go down tomorrow. The pain is going to get better. It's going to go down, instead of just this indefinite, oh, I'm just going to try and work through it because I'm nervous about surgery. So, I mean, everyone has their own journey to make, but I tell you, I am so glad I had my rotator cuff surgery when I did. I didn't keep pushing it off. There was no good time to do it. There's always something going on. But the sooner you have it, the sooner you can get past this position. So even if you're not moving as fast as I am at 12 weeks, I mean, even if your 12-week point was my 8-week point, I mean, it still was pretty pain-free. So the only limitations were, strength things. And so I definitely am glad that I had the surgery when I did, and am working past all of those excruciating, painful movement, motions, everything that I had before. So anyway, that's my 12-week update. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know if you've got some surgery coming up, if you have any questions. Again, and I can't stress this enough because both my doctor and my physical therapist said I am a faster healing than normal. And that is kind of my standard for post-surgery. I tend to heal really quickly. So if I had not been faster than normal, it would have been more of a surprise to me. But I hope you have a similar success with your rotator cuff surgery. And thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll see you next time.